Ask me, divorce is the most painful experience in somebody's life.
It, right?
That's a fact.
Yes, it is.
It is the most painful. They made research, and that divorce is the pain level. Yes, is the highest is divorced, and then comes
even more than death.
Yeah, and then comes death. I think.
I thought death would be anyway. That's good to share.
Yeah. Okay.
I find this really important.
I don't know if it's not looking promising for you if you don't listen to the show.
Abdullah, no, listen. Go in with an informed decision.
Exactly.
When you choose the partner. Okay? Okay. Don't listen to her today.
It turns so real. Just
yeah. Why are you scaring the guy?
Listen to me right now. When you find the right person.
Yeah, I know.
Why are you scaring the guy?
I'll bring the food.
Yeah, man.
Hi and welcome to Soul Sisters on 90.4 with me today, Vanessa Mehri, and my lovely co-host,
Mayya Al-Said.
So, Mayya, today we are discussing another pretty heavy topic.
Yeah, we seem to be doing a lot of those.
Yeah.
But a necessary one, I think, a very important one.
I think it's a very important discussion to have because seeing as the rates of divorce in today's time are pretty alarming.
Yeah, they're on the rise.
Yes.
Sadly.
I think what was the percentage? I think 49% actually rise in divorce cases. So it's something we need to definitely discuss. And Mayya, you obviously have spoken about this publicly.
It's something I've gone through myself, and I now coach divorced women. So it's all this is my area. But who do we have in the studio with us today, Vanessa?
Oh, we have a very important guest, and that is my mother. But there's a reason we decided to bring her in. Her name is Dominique Kibui, and she has a master's in counseling, and she loves to help married couples stay married, or transition through the divorce process. But she's also very passionate about helping children from divorced homes or children whose parents are in the middle of divorcing. So off to you, Mama.
Thank you, my daughter. It is a pleasure and an honor to be part of your show. And I will see how I can support the people of this place of Muscat and Oman in such, because it's alarming. 49%, it is one of the highest. And let's see how we get on.
I'm just going to jump into it. Do you feel like we have doubled, the divorce rate has doubled since your younger years? That's terrible.
To be honest, that I couldn't say so, but I did some research a little bit, and the divorce rate in the Middle East is rising. And when you compare with other countries, let's say Europe, it is pretty high. It's higher.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm often wondering why.
Yeah.
Why is it on the rise? Is it people are not informed enough to know what marriage is all about? Don't they know what they want? They just jump into a relationship and then say, oh, it's going well, let's get married. And then maybe when they're in the marriage, and then they're thinking, okay, this is not what I like. Thought it would turn out like, and then I opt for a divorce instead of let me try and work on it. Let me try, at one point I did want this man or this woman, so let's try and work it out. But the option of divorce comes up, and then okay, let's just end it. Yes, I feel it's just so quickly. So I really don't know why I haven't researched actually.
Do you feel that the divorce rate in the Middle East in general is very high because of how easy it is to divorce? Could that be a contributing factor?
I don't think so. And when you say easy, it's not really that easy. Easy maybe from the men's point of view, but from a woman's point of view, not to say it's not possible. It is possible, but it's not really easy. Okay. And there's so many things. We talk about the way it's done, like in court, and then the pressure that someone might face in society. I think it's very difficult to really justify and say why it is as such.
Okay. Could it be that you still have two ways how to get married. That one is the arranged marriage, where families choose who is getting married. So the spouses, they choose according to what they think is good. And then, of course, the love marriage, where you think you love this person so much, you want to spend the rest of your life, but you are not aware what are you actually thinking, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But many, again, I think we need to get the studies. Research has to be done because many arranged marriages are also successful.
Yes.
Yeah, and also there are many love marriages that end up in divorce.
Yes.
So I don't know if we can really take that as a driving factor, many arranged marriages. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But then I'd like to talk about who is this episode for today? Why we've decided? Yes, we did say at the beginning that this is something very important. But the reason for this episode today, if you're listening, if you're at a crossroad in your marriage, if you're going through a rough patch, if you are considering divorce, then please listen, and hopefully Dominique will be able to share some guidance as to what you should do and things to think about, and even if you have kids and how to handle them. So stay tuned and stick around for that.
And even if you're not married and going through divorce, but you have grown up in that setup, which means you are a child as a child, your parents divorced, which is my case.
And mine.
Yes, coincidentally. There are some good tips Dominique, my mom, will be sharing. This is so I can't refer to you with your first name. I feel like a shoe will fly my way.
Just say Mama. She is your mother.
I feel like just now, when I say her name, I'm like, I'm going to duck because something's going to happen.
Shoe there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, you know what's coming. So stay tuned and join us after the break.
And we are back discussing divorce and everything that surrounds it. It's a heated topic today, so I hope you're comfortable. Mom, I have my mother in the studio with me, in case you're wondering why I'm referring to her as Mom. I'm too scared to call her by the first name, but
and me too. I want to refer to her as Auntie.
I know, it just...
So I can't say Dominique.
Thank you, guys. Yes,
but obviously, for those who just joined in, her name is Dominique Kibui, and she is a licensed counselor. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to ask straight away, how does somebody determine if divorce, like they've tried everything and they're asking themselves that question, is divorce the right thing for me? Is this what I need to be doing at this point in my life?
First of all, I would say if you're at that point, you should seek professional help, counseling. And don't just jump. Go to any counselor. Look that it is somebody who has a bit of a track record, which is positive. Because you see, when you go to the divorcee or something, they will say yes, just get divorced, But be careful to who you go as a counselor. And there's also something. Actually, we do, that is my husband and I, he's also a counselor. So whenever we have people, a couple coming for help, so you come as a couple, you don't come as one person, because that would not work. So if you come as a couple, it's a good thing when there's another couple counseling you because of the gender balance.
Okay.
Yes.
What if the side, for example... one side, the husband or the wife, does not want counseling? They've also said, we're not interested.
Yeah, that's a bit of a difficult thing, because that means that they are not interested to maybe save this marriage. Because if both of them, they see there is a possibility to come back together, I think they are both interested to attend. And my first question anyway, always, when a couple comes, it's always, do you want to save your marriage? Do you want to stay married? That's our first question, because otherwise save all these sessions you have. You don't need
Save
that.
your money, yeah.
Yes. And I think I have never had a couple who said, no, we want to divorce. Not once. And I had many.
Oh, wow, really?
So then what does someone do, like in Vanessa's case? Not case. I'm
happily married, guys. Just have to clarify. I'm still married.
And in the case you referred to, like, there's a couple, they're going through a really rough patch, and one is interested in saving the marriage and the other one isn't. And here in the Middle East, not a lot of couples rush to marriage counseling. Yeah, because they feel it's their private life, and I'm going to talk to a stranger, and I don't want to talk about my private life to a stranger. So in this scenario, what can you advise? Now
the thing is, it's not only the Middle East. It's not that. It's everywhere. Everywhere you feel like as a couple we have failed.
Yeah.
So you feel shamed. So that has nothing to do with only here. It's everywhere.
Okay.
And I think if both really see there is still a chance, even as minor as it is, then they say, okay, fine, let's step over our shadow and look for professional help.
Okay.
Yes.
So in this case, divorce is a result of something that is not working. Yeah. Sometimes there's someone who cheats. Like there is, what's the word? Isn't
unfaithful
there?
In the word.
Yes. When someone is unfaithful, can this marriage be saved?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I think many people will think, no, he's cheated on me, or she's cheated on me. I'm done with her. But here, Auntie Dominique says, as a counselor, it can, and I've seen it as well. They can go back together.
You can heal from it.
You can, because the trust issue has been broken, and I think there's a whole thing on how to rebuild trust and regain trust and all of that. What other situation?
Should one really consider divorce?
Physical abuse.
Yeah.
So what is your stance on that one?
Personally, physical abuse, zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance.
Okay, you get a slap because, sometimes women have this really bad habit to get louder and louder, and men just snap. So you get a slap. So that's not abuse. Abuse is severely that you're beaten up, dropped down the stairs, beaten with whatever else. And there is also the second part, which is the mental abuse.
Yes, the emotional.
So these are two areas we need actually also to focus on.
But then if somebody does it the first time, let's say you've flipped out, you've caused drama, you both fought, and he smacks you, and then you forgive, don't you feel like he's now like, okay, she's going to take this, I'm going to keep doing it? Isn't it like setting a path for future for this happening in the future?
For future abuse.
Yeah.
I think this is where you need to make it very clear. Says this one time, I will close my eyes and I will forgive you. But that happens again,
I am done with you.
You'll come
I'm out the door. You see smoke. You don't see anything
the
else.
first time you will come and find me in Timbuktu.
Okay. Another question, Auntie. So, saying these things, there are still some men and some women who still stay in a marriage.
A dysfunctional one.
Why?
There are several reasons, actually. One reason, which is very clear, is that the women actually enjoy when they make peace and the husband swears them all love and kisses them and takes them to dinner and buys them stuff and jewelry and whatever. They just enjoy that. So they know to get that, they have to go through the abuse.
Wow. So it's like that's the trophy at the end of the race.
Exactly.
Like,
That's
What
the
race?
trophy.
I don't know.
not a race.
No, I mean, like,
It's a trophy at the end of the pain, the suffering,
like,
the humiliation.
He called me names, but he bought me a Birkin bag. Whoa.
Yes.
Oh, Vanessa, that's
Oh,
so bad.
Mama, that's what she...
But it's a fact. It's a fact. There are women, they are actually addicted to that.
Really? So
Yes.
they
I got goosebumps.
I know. So that
Me
okay.
too.
So it's one of those what love-hate relationships. They like the that process.
No, they actually don't like it, but they know it is like a necessary evil.
But
to
he
receive-
loves
to get your
me.
way and
but
get
he
the love.
loves me, you see, because he brings me stuff. He takes me out. He does love me. He just loves to hit me too.
As I powder my eye.
No, he promises,
Wow.
obviously, he will never do it again, but it happens again.
And then he'll get
it's
you a
like
car.
It's a cycle. It goes and goes and goes.
And what is the other reasons? You said there are various reasons. So there was this one, and what else?
Now, another reason is that they are very dependent. For example, they are uneducated. They have never worked. They feel like they are dependent on their husbands financially, and obviously they always think about their children.
Yes, of course.
That is a mother's biggest concern, that the children are taken care of, and they feel like if they walk out, that's selfish. So they have just to bear it and stay in a bad marriage, even when it is abusive. So that is another issue, that they feel they have no choice.
That's so sad. And then again, in that situation, can she? What does this person have to do, either to heal, to get? What does this person do? What does
Well,
this woman do?
my question is, what are the steps to take to remove yourself from this unhealthy scenario where you're craving the love that you get after the battle? How do you change that? That's what I want to know. And how do you change this mindset of, I'm going to stay because of the kids? Those two things, how are you changing that?
Now,
From a counselor, what would you...
normally what happens, I don't know how it is here, but in many countries they have like rescue centers for women who are battered. They can go there, stay there with their children, and they also counsel them there and help them somehow, maybe to get a job, whatever it is, and to find a new life. But some, they just... it takes guts. Yeah?
So you're basically saying remove yourself from that situation.
From that abusive
For the
place,
abuse.
yes.
Because it's toxic.
Yes, it is.
But then, I'm sure someone's saying, no, but stay. What are you going to do? You have no job, So this woman, I don't know, or this man as well, because apparently men also get abused.
I'd say as well, if you're constantly trying to seek out information and answers on a decision you're making, like you're Googling things like, should I be divorced? Am I in a bad marriage? If you're constantly reading and researching things like this to try and empower yourself, then chances are you need to get out.
Yeah, but I don't think you're able... Most women are not able to do that on their own. And you see, there's again, it's the cultural thing is that it is shame to the family, and we are talking extended family, that you walk out. It basically says that you are the guilty part.
Yeah.
So he will not say that he has been battering you or so. Or maybe I don't know if it's tolerated in the Middle East. I mean,
I don't think it's tolerated, but women just put up with it because they have no choice, or they don't want to be divorced because of the stigma.
Yes, social stigma, and they don't have the support to get out.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, all right. So you've mentioned the points that there are no-go zones. Those are definite good reasons for divorce, right? Now you have children, okay?
But sorry, Vanessa, before we go into the children's part, we are on this topic of the topics that, or the situations that you are in that you might get divorced, but also divorce is quite serious. Don't get divorced on petty things. I'm tired of this, I'm going to get a divorce because
he didn't buy me the apartment I want.
Something silly. It's not only your life, and you have to realize this life is not perfect, and you are not perfect to require this perfectionism. So be wise, and I always advise, don't make a decision when you're emotional.
Exactly.
Whenever you feel this way and you feel, okay, I really can't do this, take a step back, just calm down and really think through, and don't think as of now, just look forward to your future, the future of your kids, and not just think of, oh, I'm hurt, or he didn't do this, or he didn't do that, I want out. So because it's not only you, it's you, your kids, and as Auntie said, your extended family as well. So I just wanted to put that out there before we move on.
That definitely has to be. And also, I mean, there are cases that we know where people get married and in a month they're divorced. How hard have you really worked on that to divorce in a month, or how bad was it for you to...
I mean, there's a process to get to a point where you say you're tired.
Should you give it a time cap?
That's very difficult to say. Then is it a month, a week, a day?
I think it depends on the situation.
Yes.
Like what's happening around you. What is the what is the issue really between the two of you? Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it you're not seeing eye to eye on things? What are these things? There's so many. I think we can do a whole topic on this itself.
So end of the day, it's always, as you've mentioned, it's good to seek counsel, because get some help from somebody, be it with your spouse or without your spouse, but definitely seek guidance.
Ideally with your spouse, as Auntie said.
Ideally.
Yeah, but I mean, you see, from old times, we have this where the elders or the older relatives, they intervene and they see, can they help this young couple? Because sometimes it's really like both are very proud, both don't want to give an inch in, nobody wants to step back or say sorry or so.
Yeah.
So they become two war fractions. So it's actually it's a battle going on.
Fire and fire.
Exactly. Yes. So I think that old system sometimes is a good system. It's only that the young people don't want that anymore. You know, they say we can handle this ourselves. We know everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I think they're torn, but I also think the youth today are conditioned to not share, because you're told, don't talk about your relationships out there, you know? So a lot of them...
I didn't get you. What do you mean?
So they won't go and tell their aunties or their friends about struggles they have in their relationship, because you're not supposed to talk about it. It's taboo. Considered taboo, you know?
Well, it depends what kind of family, you know.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I don't see where you're coming from, but maybe...
Yeah, no, I know a lot of women don't, and men don't share with their friends when they're struggling.
Men is just a given. They don't share any. Even when they're not struggling, they don't share.
No, but there's a lady we both know, Vanessa and I. She used to be a neighbor of ours, and yes, she is a Muslim lady, and she had, I think, at that time 3 kids, and it was really, really bad. You know, she was bulimic because the husband said, "You're fat, you're fat, you're fat." She was just a skeleton. So he was really mentally also abusive. I don't know about the other one. But what she did, there was a point she couldn't take it anymore, and she took the kids and she moved to her parents now. And they welcomed her, and she stayed with the parents for a few months, almost a year or something. Today they are back together with the husband. I think there was some talks going on.
He had a life change.
Yeah, well, he had a heart attack, so I think it gave him a little bit some change of attitude. So yeah.
Wow. Anyway, you heard about the divorce and why. I hope now you know, kind of, it gives you a bit of an insight as to how life-changing this decision can be for your life. And we'll just take a short break and be right back.
And we're back discussing divorce. Now, Mayya, before we went on our break, we managed to get the points that if you're in a dysfunctional marriage or an abusive marriage, those are no-go zones. As my mom so rightfully said, you need to walk away.
Yeah.
Just walk away. But you also mentioned a very valid point that people are not willing to put in the work and effort today in relationships and marriage as they did years ago, right? And they just give up. It's kind of like a microwave or a TV. I know it's maybe not the best analogy, but you know, when you have a TV not working anymore, what's the first thing people do now? They throw it away. We get a new one. There's a sale, 50% off. I'm buying myself the newest, biggest Samsung. You can't be having that. You can't go into marriage with that in mind.
True.
And I love that you highlighted that, because people should still try and fix relationships if they're not unhealthy to that extent. And as my mom had mentioned, get help. Go see a counselor, because they'll be able to open your eyes, hopefully. And
because yes, divorce could be an option, but let no one lie to you and say that it's an easy option.
Oh no. No, it's. I think
You've both been through it.
Yeah, we both have been through, and for me personally, remembering it was my worst time of my life. I don't think even losing my parents or whatever it was, it was not as painful as going through a divorce. And not that it was a messy divorce, but it was a divorce. And you know, I saw myself sometimes like a ship on the ocean. And there is no port. I don't know where to go. I'm like lost, just floating.
Yeah, I know the feeling. It is one of the hardest I can't say decision, but one takes, and one seems to think, you know what, when I get divorced, it'll be so much better. No, not necessarily. It could be a solution if it was a dysfunctional marriage, like Vanessa mentioned at the beginning. But if it's a marriage that it just has problems, there's always this analogy of plates. Two plates are the same, but when you put one on top of the other, what happens? They make sound. You hear the banging. So that's like the quarrels of the marriage. That's part of life. It's not a reason to go and get a divorce.
I mean, you quarrel with your siblings.
Yes, you do.
You're not going to you can't divorce your siblings, sorry guys, but you're not going to disown your siblings because of a squabble.
So what are the things that one needs to know about a divorce? Just so somebody, when they do if they think of taking that decision, let them take it as an informed decision, going in knowing that, okay, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to have some challenges. It's going to be lonely. You've been with somebody for X number of years, and suddenly it's just you and the walls, you and your kids. It's hard.
Wow, the walls is
It's very hard because, even friends, particularly when you're a female, they withdraw. Yes, because now you are on the market.
Yes.
It's like when you're a widow. They will withdraw because now they fear maybe their husbands.
You could take their husbands.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a whole Pandora box. It's something you don't even think when you say, oh, I'm getting a divorce, I get it. But no, it's something I would say really the very last
resort.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah. To be honest, I never thought of it that way. I never thought that was even something that could happen, that your close friends would withdraw out of fear that, wow.
Not only that, and then as a Muslim woman, you're exposed because there's a beautiful analogy my father told me. He said, now you're no longer divorced, my daughter, he said, when you were single, you were protected by me. So he said, imagine that you're a girl and I am a tree covering you. So you have my shadow, the shadow of the leaves. And then he says, then when you got married, you went to your husband. So you are protected. But now he said you are out in the open, like you have no protection.
Girl, you need some good sun cream for that one.
So that hit really hard when he said that. And I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. So you planted and grew your own tree, essentially, right?
I found another tree.
Found another tree eventually. Wow. That's beautiful. Honestly, I never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
And it's even harder when you have kids, isn't it, Nancy?
Yes.
Because kids in the mix, it's not only your feelings you have to manage, it's also theirs. And what tends to happen is children don't understand what's happening. Why are Mama and Baba not together? And then they tend to blame themselves.
Yes. They think they were naughty. They think they were not good, or they did not well in school, or something. They look themselves and they think it's me. Why they divorce, And okay, depends on the age of the children as well. But that happens very often, that they actually now get very introvert, and they try to avoid to even be near the parent they stay with, because they have this guilt feeling.
So now let's assume khalas, someone has gotten the divorce, and now what's the best way to share the news with the kids, and how to handle it going forward?
That's a nice question. I don't think there's a best way. I think every person, if that is the father or the mother, I think according to me, the best way is when they sit together with the children, not fighting, quiet, and just try to explain that they don't want to stay with each other anymore. I think as long that the children still see they are not killing each other here, I think that would be the best scenario, but that is unfortunately not often the case.
Healthy dialogue.
Yes.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because can you imagine from the child's perspective, he wakes up or she wakes up one day and one parent is gone. Like, they're alive. It's not that they're...
but they're not in the household anymore.
And they have no idea why, because no one has communicated to them. Some parents think, they don't understand. Or I don't want to tell them because it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful either way. You tell them now, you tell them, they find out from you, but they have to know. You have to tell them.
Yes.
because it's their right.
So how do you keep your children healthy through this transition?
I think the best is when you, for the sake of the children, you stay friends. You know, you don't do it like in enmity. I mean, I said that's the best, you know. That's not what really happens all the time. But
Mama, some people, the personalities be.
Yeah, I know. But that would be the best scenario. If, for example, you could sometimes maybe even go together to football games or something, you know, but that the child knows my dad has a different home now. And my mom is here. So
wouldn't that be just opening the doors to a whole passive-aggressive sort of scenario?
It depends. You see, when you don't have another partner immediately.
Oh my goodness, we haven't even gotten to bringing the other partner. That is
But if not, that they kind of, at least for the first few months, they keep like a kind of a healthy environment for the children. But mostly that is not happening.
No.
So what do you do when, because I know there are instances where parents bring their children to you. So the husband and wife have divorced. The children are failing in school. The grades have dropped.
Yes.
They have behavioral issues. And you're brought in now.
Yeah.
What do you do in that case?
Now, first of all, the child has to be over 10 years. Because under 10 years, they can simply not express themselves. So they would do play therapy. They would do with figures, or they would draw drawings and stuff like that, where now the psychologist who is trained can actually read from that. But if they're older than 10 years, you simply let them talk. What is happening? And the first thing you need is have a relationship with that child. Because there is a lot of trust issues with the children, because now they don't trust their father, they don't trust their mother, they let me down. So, but it works. It actually works. But it's a process. It's not something which goes in a snap of a finger. So it needs time.
Yeah, and I think something that's really worth mentioning is don't speak ill of your spouse.
Oh, yes.
Don't go and say, this one did this and he or she's like this. And
your father, your
mother is, this is why I'm not with them.
Yeah.
But
Don't
you
do
know,
that.
actually, that happens a lot when they're not even separated, where one parent, mostly the mother, she tries to pull the kids on her side and tries to make the husband to be a monster.
Isn't that narcissistic? Or not necessarily?
Not really. It is simply selfish. She needs support, and she tries to get the kids as support,
On her
which
side.
is it's totally
try and
wrong.
gain strength.
Because you damage your children.
Yeah.
Because the children, they love both. They love their dad, whatever he has done, and they love their mom, whatever she has done. So to try to make a warfare, you know, he has done that, he's a bad guy or whatever, or she's a bad mother, something like that, you destroy these kids.
Yeah, so in addition to that, don't make them choose. You want to go here or you want to go there, because it's unfair, just as Auntie said. And one more thing, when it's time, it's their visitation rights, however it has been planned out, don't stop it from happening.
Yes.
There are some parents, out of ego, selfishness, and just to endure more pain, or to show them that I have the kids, I'm going to hurt you, and all of that.
spite the other one,
to
yeah.
spite, thank you, Vanessa. To spite the other one, they'll stop their children going to see their father or their mother. Who do you think? Yes, you are the parent, but in what right are you stopping your children from having a relationship with their father or with their mother?
That's not fair. Yeah, that's selfish.
Like, you are now bringing your problems into the children. Like, the children want to have it's not their problem, their fault that you two have ended the marriage. They still want to, and it's their right to maintain the relationship with their parent.
True.
So if anyone out there who knows somebody who's doing this, please advise them that this is not right. And it's not even, I understand they're in pain, but think of these children.
Yes.
That are even in more pain and maybe can't even express themselves. So it will really just shatter their lives.
Yeah.
Basically. And they will have this vision that I cannot have a healthy relationship because my parents.
Yeah. Sort yourself out. Don't try and gain your strength by pulling your spouse down in front of your kids.
Maybe you sit down, even you don't want to see the other's face, but sit down and agree when they have the children, what they do, Not that they spoil them and then they come home and maybe the mom has to work now because there's not enough money or he doesn't pay or whatever it is. So that he kind of buys the kids with gifts and stuff.
Yes. Wow.
Don't do that. Don't buy a PlayStation just to get some love from your child through the divorce.
But maybe that's the only way they know how to communicate. So educate yourself. Spend time with your children away from like devices. Go out, go for a hike, go to the park. Don't go to the movies because there's no one who's talking to each other.
Yeah, I know.
Do activities.
Yes.
Yeah.
know?
I think, you're more inclined to hold on to memories of things you've done together. I mean, I don't really remember. Sorry, Mom. I know you probably spent a lot of money on this, on all the gifts you gave me for my birthday and everything. I do remember the Game Boy though, but that wasn't for me. However, I remember the things you did with me and
The time spent.
The time you spent. And you know what? We didn't even have to go anywhere. I would come from school and sit on your couch in your room for an hour and I'd have verbal diarrhea and just talking about my day, everything, the girls who bullied me at school, and just having that, my school crush, being able to talk to you through that, that was amazing, and I will never forget it. Thank you, Mama.
Oh, that's
You're
so
most
nice.
welcome. But that's nice you say so, because particularly when the children become preteens or teens,
Oh, yeah.
you know, all these gifts, it's maybe they are happy to have a nice phone, they have whatever, but I tell you, if they could choose, they just want your both ears. Have time, drop your newspaper,
Phone.
close or put the
TV.
TV off or whatever it is, you know, just dedicate that time. Know that this time is like when you're sowing seeds. It's actually it's sowing seeds for their future. You give them the time to, as you say, it's oral diarrhea, but
Verbal.
sorry.
I'm the less laughing.
Oh, Mama, don't say that, Mama.
Okay, anyway, so you get the point.
Yeah.
It's really invest in your children by giving your time.
Yeah.
That it will come back. I guarantee you 100%. There you will have a harvest and a half.
So no matter how, even if you're struggling and you're feeling depressed through your divorce, give your child that 1 hour where it's just you and them, and you give them all of you. And then when you're done, khalas, go to your room, close the door,
Have a good cry.
have a good cry,
Let
heal
it out.
through, find your healing, start your healing process.
Yes. And with that, we'll take a short break, and keep in mind, when we come back, you don't want to miss this, because we'll be talking about
Kids who have come from divorced homes like we did.
yes, and about I want to ask her a question. Anyway, come back after the break. Welcome back. You're listening to Soul Sisters, and we are just picking off where we left off. And now it's the question that I'd like to ask you, Dominique. So it's like Vanessa and I. Okay, I'll take us as an example. We've both grew up, like both our parents got divorced and we were young. And so now there are moments where especially when I wanted to get married, I always thought, but what if it ends? What if my marriage ends up being like my parents' marriage and I end up being a divorce? So is there something that, I don't know, a way for us to heal from this? From constantly referring back to that experience, and it will affect our marriages?
So basically, I mean, what happened, that was a traumatic experience for both of you, and you have flashbacks.
Yeah.
It always like pops up and says, what about when this same scenario repeats again, and I'm just like my parents and whatever. So you feel like you're full of baggage, and it's actually very unhealthy to carry your baggage into a new relationship. That's actually a fact. So I think if you really feel that it affects you so negatively, you should seek counseling.
I had a feeling she was going to go with that. She said counseling.
Yes.
Can I just journal it?
No, but you need to actually really offload. You need to offload. And these are unfinished business. And when you think you can just put it under the carpet, no.
It comes up again. Dust always
Because
comes
what happens, I'll give an example, is you'll be like, my father did this and this to my mama, so my mama divorced him. I am not going to let a man do this and this to me. And then the poor soul that marries you, has to deal with all that. That barrier on, you know,
baggage.
that the barrier,
baggage.
the wall you've put.
Yes.
But it can also be an empowering angle. My mother got divorced, then I can get divorced. So it depends again how you look at it, or what angle you look at it from.
I don't know, you two are still young. If you would have shared that with your future spouse, do you think it would have helped you? Did you do that, Vanessa?
I really don't remember.
Like share what exactly?
Share about that, these flashbacks you have that you think maybe, you know, maybe we are also just getting divorced. Maybe we have a first fight and we don't even survive this first fight, or we are going to have a bad marriage or something. You know, it's like you're already putting poison into the relationship before it takes off.
So it could help him be or help your partner have compassion, I guess, and work hard at certain aspects, I guess. At the end of the day, I feel like it's our duty to self-heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so one of them is going to counseling, but the other is also being self-aware of your thoughts.
Exactly.
And, you know, you were saying, did I share that with my, for example, now husband? No, I didn't. It was mainly an internal, you know, process and internal thought. And one more thing, now I want to talk about the scenario where a marriage ends, but one, either the husband or the wife, still really loves the other. Like, and yes, in some cases, especially in Islam and also not in Islam, they can get back together. Yeah, so that is a possibility. But what if it's off the table? You know, that option is not available, or maybe one wants it and the other one doesn't want to come back.
So dealing with heartbreak.
Yes.
Move on.
How?
I'm sorry.
How?
Because when one doesn't, you can't force your other part, your other spouse to love you. If he doesn't or she doesn't love you, she doesn't love you, or he doesn't love you. And there's no way you can do anything that they start now loving you.
Yes.
There's nothing. And I know that is for often women. They still love their husband a lot. But he said, I had it. I can't deal with this drama queen. I can't deal with that person anymore. She's too much. And
he dropped the baggage.
yes.
Can't do it anymore.
Can't do it anymore.
But see, to this woman, I want to empower all men, because I know it can go both ways. A marriage ends, and God did not only create that man or that woman, there are billions around. So heal, tell yourself you are worthy of love, you are worthy of compassion, and you can, and you know, if you choose to do so, because it's at the end of the day, it's a choice they're making consciously. Oh, I still love him. Oh, I still want him. Instead of saying, okay, he doesn't want me, it's okay. I want to heal from this. I'll become stronger, and I will find somebody. God will bless me with someone else. So it's really, again, internalizing it.
Sounds like somebody would taking up a new hobby would be a good idea, because it distracts you as well. Because an idle mind is not healthy. If you're sitting at home by yourself, windows closed, and you're just replaying this scenario, maybe if I send this certain text, maybe if I do this, they will react this way, is very unhealthy. So you need to be able to pull yourself out from the depths of darkness and take yourself out there and go and do something for you. Go somewhere public, even though it kills you, you know, to do that. Have a shower first and foremost. That can make a huge difference in your life. And just
Don't
get
go
out there.
out stinky.
Don't go out stinky. But really, for your self-esteem, it's good for you. Go out there, do something, learn a new hobby, take up a sport, keep your mind busy.
Find joy in your life again.
Yes.
Learn to love yourself.
Yeah, that's actually the point, Vanessa. Learn again to love yourself. Maybe you totally thought nobody can love me anymore, but your self-confidence, work on that one. Because if you as a mother, you are self-confident and you know that you don't just need this particular partner to be whole, to be a person, to be a woman, to be a mother, to be a good mother, then I think that would be a good starting point. But if you cannot move on, that's why I said move on.
You're not a tree.
You're not, no, you're hurting yourself, you're hurting your children, you're hurting your environment, because you will constantly be whining and complaining. But that's not what it is. Maybe out there is a person who appreciates you the way you are, your character, your behavior, everything. Yeah, maybe you have a pimple on your face and he loves it. So what?
I love your pimple.
Love it. It's radiant. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. I know this was a heavy topic and we ended up laughing.
We tried.
And, you know, the end of a marriage is not the end of your life.
Just
That's
like failing a math test doesn't mean your life is over. Why should a failed marriage mean your life is over?
That's true. Yeah.
But most what it is, what I want to say from my side at the end, you see, there's always communication breakdown. And if you feel like there is no way I can communicate to my spouse, that's why you go to counseling. They help you to, again, speak your ill feelings, speak your frustrations and whatever, so that the communication, the dialogue is going on.
Because you could be saying ABC and they hear XYZ.
Exactly.
So that's why, that's a really nice way of, explaining what counseling is. So we hope that you got lots of information from this episode. And we hope that life, as I said, does not end at the end of a marriage. Your life could begin again, but you need to work on yourself. That's what I took away from this today.
Yes, same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same. Well, self-love, as you always. Self-love is important.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Auntie, for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And
Thank
sharing
you,
your
Mommy.
knowledge. And as you said, this feels like we're just chilling. In the
Might as well. I
living
wish we
room.
had coffee.
Yeah. Next time. Because we are having you, inshallah, maybe next time. At your next visit in Oman.
Yes.
So yeah, that's it. And I guess it's time to say ma salama.
Mehri.
Ma salama.